What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Palantir. I want to go over some of the current data points and why this upcoming week is going to be huge. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So going into this upcoming week, Palantir is definitely having some good momentum over the last 5 days, up 28.59%, bouncing off of some very good support levels recently. So that'll pretty much give it a nice footing going into this upcoming week. But what just came out is going to be huge. Even though it doesn't directly affect Palantir, it does indirectly through consumers' buying power and sentiment. But this right here, so US grants tariff exclusions for computers, smartphones, and chip making equipment. So even though the actual true percentage tariffs haven't been cut, this is pretty much a good first step. And so as what happened on Friday, you had some good momentum, and that was just simply people were optimistic that the States and China were going to come to some sort of agreement over this weekend. And what the States did is a very good starting point. And essentially, what is listed here, computers, smartphones, and chip making equipment, that is already going to be a very big relief for consumers. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that. Kind of comical though, probably Trump did eventually crunch the numbers and realize a smartphone could not be created in the States without it costing 50 times as much. But nonetheless, I think this is a very good starting point and should really propel a lot of stocks higher, including yours truly, Palantir. So recently there hasn't been all that much in news, so as you can kind of see, so nothing really substantial. Looks like March the 25th was the last big one. You had a couple Form 4s and 144s recently at the end of March, early April, but nothing really crazy. Again, I've already brought that up in my previous Palantir video, but going into this upcoming week though, you don't really have that much in data points. So starting off on Monday, you do have a lot of Fed speakers, you have retail sales on Wednesday, and then Thursday building permits starts, and then Friday, I believe the market is closed. So aside from all that, it's basically going to be tariff related. That's going to be the driving factor for the market. So going into this upcoming week though, with it closing on Friday at 88.55, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 85.71 was a very good support level, and it bounced off of that on Friday. So like I said, Palantir has been gaining some pretty good momentum on a technical standpoint, which is always a positive thing. Shorts on Friday also did take advantage. They returned 184,000 shares. 2.51% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 54.24 million shares. Just bringing this up as a benchmark, not because Palantir is a squeeze play, although you do see some signs of manipulation. So cost to borrow minimum is negative, meaning that there is a broker or brokers out there physically paying people to short Palantir, and they've been doing that for a while now, trying to drum up some business. But as I've mentioned in some of my pre-market videos, like shorts of PTSD with Palantir, you can see in like September they doubled down, in December they doubled down, and they get their asses handed to them. So at the end of the day, even despite it going down recently because of fears, they didn't do anything. They just returned. So that's relatively optimistic. But nonetheless, going into this upcoming week, and given what just came out, I feel that shorts are going to continue to return. Looking at the options though, that was done on Friday, you see consensus for it to be roughly around that $90 to $95 range. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 85. So that's kind of the worst case scenario. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated based on this. And of course, like I said, that 85.71 is a very key support. But aside from that though, even going into today, the Elliott Wave Technicals did have a pivot point of $105.28. So given most likely what is going to come on Monday, you should see that triple digit most likely again. So getting very close to this pivot point. And if it does actually hit this and is able to stay above this, then it is anticipated to kind of get between the $120 to $129 range. So things are going to move very fast this week, and like that's just factoring in this solely. If let's say China does reduce some of their tariffs, or if they do another peace kind of offering such as this to the States, then things are just going to go like FOMO 5.0 at this stage. So things could get real fast, very fun and exciting. So just hold on and enjoy the ride. But aside from that though, looking over here, so on the actual chart itself, so the 50-day moving average, which is a very big deal for Palantir, that's sitting at $92.44. So that should be easily above that come Monday. And then aside from that, support levels 82.38, that is going to be that 100-day moving average. But honestly, I don't really see that being touched this week. So there's going to be a lot of excitement in the broader market, and this will probably be the nice reversal that Palantir does need in order for it to hit all-time highs again. So what is your thoughts on Palantir? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? I actually have been buying. I haven't bought as much as I would have liked though, but I did throw roughly around $2,000 into Palantir roughly around these days on the 4th and also the 7th. So honestly, I started to just dollar cost average because at that stage, like, it felt like Armageddon was happening in the broader market. But Palantir is one of those amazing beasts of a stock that you never really want to bet against. You always want to have it on your side. And so far, yeah, those have been a huge deal. So hopefully it does get higher highs. So let me know your general thoughts on Palantir. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.